Welcome to Marketing for Founders. I'm Adam Shaw. Today, we're getting into probably my favorite thing about being part of Marketing for Founders and working with all of you, and that's how to build a high converting content funnel with just an hour of work per day. The vast majority of founders who work with us are doing a ton of other things. They're 1, 2, or 3 people that work at this company. So a lot of our founders are dealing with product problems, marketing, sales, accounting, whatever level of HR you have for your 2 or 3 person company, those kind of things. So I built this funnel 5 hours a week, 1 hour a day, and you'll be able to start driving customers. This came from somebody asking me or telling me that basically I need to create content for LinkedIn, my blog, and other platforms, but I don't know where to start, and I only have a few hours a week. And truthfully, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm a marketer, but I still only have 5 to 7 hours a week where I can do really good marketing. Despite that, I'm driving at least 10 new leads from Reddit, LinkedIn, and my newsletter every single week. So here I'm going to walk you through the steps that I took to build that funnel. The funnel starts with social media like LinkedIn and Reddit. I connect with 150 people per week on LinkedIn. I talked about this in some past episodes, but I also have a 4-minute video on how to use Sales Navigator, which I'll include in the show notes below. Second, on LinkedIn and Reddit, you want to make sure that you're commenting with really good, actionable advice. I say focus on commenting before posting because you can repurpose your best comments into posts. It's really easy because you're just responding to people. You don't have to plan out exactly what you're going to say. Then create your posts that facilitate the types of conversations that you want to have. I'm going to link into my Reddit, specifically one of my posts where I did this that worked really well. I talked about this again in the last episode. Then 4, LinkedIn and Reddit, just gently promote your newsletter or whatever piece of content that you're creating. I spent a lot of time answering questions and helping people across my channels. I occasionally will add a line at the end of a comment or a post that lightly pushes readers to my newsletter. For example, I might use a line like, I talk about things like this in my newsletter. Check it out. Or you might get some value from my newsletter. I write about stuff like this and actionable tips and steps to take in marketing your SaaS. Just a quick plug. My newsletter link is in the description below. Subscribe. Let me know what you think. Talk a lot about newsletters. So here's how I set one up in just a couple of hours. I love my newsletter because it lets me engage with a ton of people without trying to sell anything. I get a lot of responses, people asking me questions about the tactics I'm setting them and what else they should be doing. And almost every single person who's become a Marketing for Founders customer has interacted with my weekly newsletter. So I know that I'm getting a lot out of it. It's definitely worth the time. I think you probably would be able to as well. I use beehiiv to write and send my newsletter. Super simple. beehiiv will also allow you to monetize your newsletter if that's something you want to do in the future. There's a link to beehiiv below you can check out. Just like we talked about in the last episode with finding customers or finding your audience, you need to focus on a really specific market and problem. I even say with your newsletter, go more specific than your audience for your product. I'll give you an example. For Marketing for Founders, my entire market is B2B SaaS founders who need marketing help. For my newsletter, I specified it down to people who are just launching their product. B2B SaaS founders who need help launching their new product is how I describe the audience on my newsletter. It's much different, and I can write stuff even more specific, and people will engage with it more. We'll have a higher open rate, a lot more success. It's not a big difference, but it definitely narrows down the audience. In your newsletter, focus on an outcome. You're trying to sell a product that helps people do something. So you want to focus on helping them do that thing before they even buy. This will engage buyers more, and it'll show them that you are a subject matter expert in the areas that they need help in. I just recommend people to grab my format and use it. I actually stole it from somebody else too. So subscribe, copy and paste the format, and write something for yourself. Specifically, I have 3 components: personal intro, a value-based section of content, and then finally a sign off with a call to action. My call to action is usually to sign up for my free monthly office hours or to book a sales call with my team to see if we can help. It depends upon the content really, but I try to make it feel in line with the things that I just talked about. And that brings me to the final piece of my funnel, which is hosting a live event at least once a month. For me, that's live office hours. I host them on LinkedIn every month, 1 to 2 hours, where people can just come in and ask questions, and I'll give them detailed step-by-step answers, just like I'm doing here on the podcast. Here's how to set that up. Probably takes about 15 or 20 minutes. I recommend doing office hours. Reason being, a webinar or a workshop, which is your other options, require you to create a script, invite co-hosts, build a deck, and just do a ton of extra work. For office hours, you just show up and answer questions. So I set this up on LinkedIn, and then I invite all my connections. Like I said, there's a video below on how to quickly set up a LinkedIn audio event and invite all of your connections. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. You want to push readers from your newsletter to go to that event as well. If your audience is getting a lot of value from your newsletter, they'll want to hear from you live. Invite them to join your office hour session at the end of your email, like I was talking about. You can see how I do it at the end of my newsletters. Finally, send your attendees to your product. During your office hours, attendees are looking for actionable information. It's a great opportunity to give them the hands-on help and tell them how your product or solution takes it a step further. You don't want to oversell them though. You want to be able to give them more than what you're taking from them. And when you try to oversell them, you're kind of taking their time away. What helps with this too is to follow up with everybody who RSVP'd, even if they don't attend. You can get them into your newsletter and try to get them back into that funnel to engage with you more.